Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, January 2/1, 2024, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. At 3 p.m. Mountain Time, I'll be doing a webinar on paoweb.com. So that's at 3 p.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Pacific today. As Einstein quoted, a new type of thinking is essential if mankind is to survive and move on to higher levels. The mind, noun. A beautiful servant, a dangerous master. Osho. There's just not enough momentum in generating positive thoughts to overshadow all the lies and negative thoughts we've been unconsciously fed our entire existence. So if we wanted to completely stop our mind from generating any type of negative thought process, we will need to understand how to trick our mind to stop thinking, period. The first step on this magnificent journey to freedom is this: do not believe everything your mind thinks is true. You can look at the landscape on the planet and all the past experiences and challenges and ventures throughout the ages. And the mind looks at things and says, well, that's real, that's true, when it isn't. We, in turn, will then believe something that is untrue to be true. To become the master of our mind, we must choose to stop being its slave. This means we need to realize how we already are a slave to our thoughts and often follow them like a lost puppy, trailing behind the last person it sees walking by. When we resist the urge to follow every thought we have and just take one tiny step back from this ever-desiring, forever-searching, seeking, strategizing mind, we instantly gain more awareness. With just this little bit more awareness, we instantly discover the power to stop obeying whatever the next thought our mind says is true. Then we begin the lifelong journey towards expanding in awareness and ascending in consciousness, instead of remaining a slave to our next series of thoughts. Lao Tzu made a great quote. The key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. The next step is having a conversation with your mind. Whenever your mind starts to become negative, fearful, or dwelling on some unhappy past event, how do you respond to it? Do you believe that what it's saying is the whole 100% truth? When the mind starts focusing on negative thoughts, it accumulates all kinds of reasons and rationale as to why it must be true. Yet in that negative mindset moment, we never consider challenging the mind and asking it if there's a slight possibility that it might just be wearing very dark, murky sunglasses at the moment of our life. To challenge our negative mindset can actually be quite challenging because our awareness is already covered in its dark, muddled unclarity. So here's another trick that will help you wake up. The moment you realize you're thinking, feeling, speaking, or believing anything in this life is purely negative, just imagine a giant white flag being flown over a war zone. Surrender this fight and give in to the feeling of inner peace. Let your ego be wrong about whatever it's so negative about, and allow this conflict with reality to end at that moment. It's not about trying to push yourself into any type of rejection, control, or avoidance of this negative mind. Once we truly fall into the energy of surrender, we release all identification with our thoughts. And in that very moment, we are free. The path of surrender is more about finding humility within the ego, which levels it out into a higher understanding of our eternal spiritual essence behind it all. Through relating with that sacred aspect of yourself that knows you're an eternal being who is just having a temporary human experience, you naturally discover a resourced world inside yourself that's beyond all negativity. What's broken can be mended. What hurts can be healed. And no matter how dark it gets, the sun is going to rise again. tinybuddha.com. The negative thinking that we have experienced inside ourselves is not wrong for being there. Whenever we are majorly hurt, wounded, or emotionally traumatized in our childhood or from the last few years, this created layers of anger, despair, protection, or numbness around your emotional body to prevent that traumatic experience from reoccurring and perhaps destroying your will to live. Yet, because the tendency is to continue the habit of believing whatever wounding we felt in the past must still be true today. We remain in the state of upholding and maintaining these emotional walls for years or decades. Forgiveness and healing are often not an option for a protective ego whose job is to never let its guard down and maintain the impenetrable fortress, protecting us from remaining forever stuck, feeling our pain. So, we must choose to first realize how our guardedness is actually like a prison wall, keeping us in emotional bondage and unable to feel truly emotionally alive and free. Any emotional walls that we have from past trauma or betrayal are most likely creating our low self-esteem, attachment issues, unrealistic expectations, unnecessary feelings of insecurity, communication barriers, fear of rejection, independence, and overdependence, and blocking us from creating an intimate, loving relationship with someone. Emotional walls will impede on the development of intimate, loving relationships by hindering trust, vulnerability, and authentic, loving connection. To transcend any old wall, simply return to the emotional body of your younger self before this trauma was actually activated. Do you remember what life was like when you were a child? We all were innocent, pure, like the sun, and always amazed at the simplest things. We didn't hold on to any judgments about anything, believing that some people were always good and others were always bad. We lived simply and freely in the moment, from one experience to the next, seeing life brand new with fresh eyes of love, innocence, and wonder. This innocent, childlike vision is still inside all of us, and it is the true ultimate key to our emotional freedom. Start with feeling into the heart of your playful inner child who is unaware of any type of trauma or wound. Notice how it's open, accepting, and full of joy and wonder. The childlike heart inside of us feels this world is this massive, magical playground and knows that anything is possible. It doesn't entertain thoughts of worrying about the future, holding on to the past, or believing that it's stuck in some horrible situation. The childlike mind is free and open to whatever experience life has to offer. Yet, like any innocent toddler, this spontaneous young mind tends to follow whatever is happening around it. It simply flows from one thought to the next and has no higher discretion as to whether it wants to think, act, or behave in this way. If everyone around us in this life is irreverently rushing through their lives, blindly following their desires with desperation, we also might start thinking that this is just the way life is, and we should join them. These younger, immature parts of ourselves do not want to feel left out, so they tend to follow the ways of what is told to believe is true and remain in the safe pack with the rest of the sheeple. The black sheep is sometimes the only one telling the truth. The secret is accessing our original innocence that's deep inside our childlike hearts while maintaining a maturity in our awareness. Who knows? Not to get caught up in the needy, ever-desiring, yearning, immature mind. This means attempting to give up all attachments to fulfill our ego's every wish, want, desire, and just accepting ourselves and our past wounding exactly the way it is. The wounded mind lives in the space of achieving, defending, striving, not arriving, mistrust, and fear. It has no idea what the absolute truth is or how deep eternal love feels. Let the mind know that it's fired from being the sole commander of your life. Choose to reside in a deeper, heartfelt, spiritual existence that is based on trust, love, and connection. Do whatever you can to ignore the mind and drop into an innocent heart space that is free from any thoughts. Quote from Eckhart Tolle: acknowledging the good that you already have in your heart is the foundation for all abundance. The mind is the most dangerous and powerful thing in this universe. It is a tyrant that we need to step back from, find real clarity and spiritual direction. For the wounded, angry mind will throw us into hell 1 minute, and then we have to work super hard to transport ourselves back to wholeness. So I advise you not to place your trust in the ever-changing mind. Invest your life energy into following, feeling, and trusting your heart instead. Your heart is the real emperor who is already free from the controlling, fear-based mind. Now, if you wish to become a super empowered, deeply alive, joyous, free human being, you must choose to live in the realization 24/7 that you are not your mind. You are neither a rebellious black sheep nor a sedated white sheep. You are much wilder and freer than this complacent, tamed animal. You are more like a lion, here to spiritually awaken the entire universe with one great roar. So stop right now and realize that you are always the master of your mind and never its slave. When we relinquish all attachment to the mind's ever-pressing list of wants, demands, and desires, we are instantly communicating with the mind who's in charge. The mind will always be there thinking about things. And we are there in the back seat just watching it think. The path to real spiritual freedom is about cultivating a peaceful detachment from our thoughts, finding the silent witness who already lives in a perpetually divine state of love, joy, and appreciation. Cease trying to work everything out with your mind. It will get you nowhere. Live by intuition and inspiration, and let your whole life be revelation. I'm in Kelly. Essentially, what we're doing when we fire the mind from being in charge of our experience of this life is that we're making this precious moment of life more important than the mind. The raw, real experience of this life, simply being here now, is what destroys the mind from taking back the throne. This is because the mind can only exist in the past or future, Once we are fully surrendered to this present moment, the mind is no longer there. Where did it go? We are here. We are now. Yet there is no more thinking, planning, or scheming going on. There is just this infinite experience of life in all directions. And as Bruce Lee quoted, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. The next secret to freedom from the negative mind boils down to understanding its repetitive nature. The mind is always busy thinking about something. Then it assesses this life and assumes that its assessments are true, and then repeats those thoughts throughout your life, forming beliefs and systems of belief around it. It creates your entire reality based on this belief system, manifesting every situation and encounter in your life. So truly, it makes no difference if we have worked for 20 years trying to cultivate an empowered, positive mindset that has forced its way beyond negative thinking. If we accidentally stub our toe, break our ankle, or our beloved suddenly cheats on us and leaves us for another, the old wounded mind will instantly return to the driver's seat, making us into a victim, and regress into its traumatic unconscious pattern where it knows its original relationship with pain. To heal our mind is to become the eternal witness of the mind. Unawareness is the basic nature of the mind, while awareness is the essence of our consciousness. Breaking free from old, repetitive, mental, emotional patterns starts with noticing how our minds are still blindly following every thought instead of realizing we're the consciousness that's creating it. Another Eckhart Tolle quote, true intelligence operates silently. Stillness is where creativity and solutions to problems are found. See, it's always in the stillness, not the actedness, not the hurrying, not the rushing, not the wanting, not the desiring. It's in the stillness. The more silent we become, the more we know, the more we understand. It's like the journey, when we're walking and strolling along the journey, taking in everything along the way. Most of us were raised in schools that were programmed to make us slaves to the system. That's exactly what they are. And thus slaves to our minds. These public schools are set up like prisons, lacking in emotional sensitivity and protective high-wire fences to keep predators out and the children locked in. These institutions have not been designed to teach children how to have relationships based on love, truth, and live in a spiritual dimension. The school system was created in such a way to make everyone believe in its power. It formed the relationship we have today with our mind. Follow the leader. Do what you're told. Strive harder so you can achieve more. And then someday you'll reach the top rung on the ladder and become something really special. These are such deep subconscious lies programmed into our lives. When you truly don't care what anyone thinks of you, you have reached a dangerously awesome level of freedom. Liberation from decades of programming is possible when we make the essence of pure consciousness the guru and the mind its disciple. This is the only way to let go of decades of thinking patterns that were programmed by society's Neanderthal educational system. Through a deep investigation of our own consciousness, we will naturally start to rely on our intuition and divine inspiration to guide us. We will inherently know that we already are something beyond special, a real masterpiece. There is nobody in this universe exactly like you. There is no better school than the one found inside our own heart and soul. And this inner education is discovered when we surround ourselves with people who are spiritually alive and awake in this very moment. I believe that the children of our world today are our best teachers for learning how to live free from the mind. These kids may be small in size, yet have incredible power because they have no limitations on what is possible. Children live in such awe and wonder of our universe that they are naturally wide open to experience its miracles. Did you know that there are schools now that teach normal children how to read a book with a blindfold on? That's right. These kids can actually see the words in a book using their third eye and can read an entire book using their psychic vision. See, it's going to we are going to start understanding, and I believe that many of us already are, that we will start eliminating through surrender the mind's control over us, and then reprogramming ourselves, bringing our childlike curiosity front and center, and then programming the children from the very beginning on who and what they are. This will shift this civilization forever on this planet, and it will advance it 1,000 leagues into the future. Now, if you notice, this special psychic third eye school is full of liberated children because their minds are still sponges, not locked up in rigid educational systems. These kids are very open to believing and knowing that anything is possible. Most adults who try to learn this psychic skill, however, find it much harder to see through their blindfolds because they cannot detach from their mind's rigid belief system. Yet, it has been possible that certain adults have learned how to do this as well. Deep within your soul is a door that opens into a world of wonder. Open the door and let the magic in. The secret to breaking free from our adult imprisoned mind conditioning is to take the risk this week to start behaving like a liberated child again. You can start with dancing outside freely in the grass, playing in the mud, asking silly questions. eating without plates or utensils. Do whatever kids do, and you'll naturally get in touch with your playful, free, inner, childlike, liberated mind and access your naturally open, trusting heart again. Trust in the energy that makes you free from the mind. Trust is what boosts the relationships with family, creates new friends, heals your body, liberates your mind from the clutches of negative thinking. Have 100% trust in this life for 24 hours, and you will feel amazing. Trust is the opposite of fear, and all negative thoughts are rooted in fear, which stems from the mind's belief in separation from the God source, which is not possible. Trust in yourself. Trust in the wisdom of this universe. Trust in the unfolding of your life's path. You are exactly where you need to be, unknown. So your job as a spiritual being is to bring awareness to the levels of trust you're operating from today, and to increase them however you can. The vibration of trust is far bigger than cultivating a positive mindset to overpower the negative. Trust is a feeling that everything is happening for your enlightenment, all of our enlightenment, and not to harm us in any way. It knows that this entire universe loves, accepts, and appreciates us exactly as we are. The trusting feeling instantly devours any negative thought patterns that arise with its simple yet fierce, loving presence. Trust will take over your life when the mind has been given enough time and space to feel completely safe and secure. Like you perhaps felt at some point in your childhood. Regain this level of trust in this life, and the mind will automatically release its habit of negativity. When we are infused with deep soul lessons, living from the heart, listening to guidance only from within, we will live on a level of higher consciousness that is beyond the negative thoughts, evolve into beings that are free beyond comprehension. By letting go of control, trusting every thought and thing happening to you in this life for just 24 hours in a row, you'll instantly step back from the negative, controlling, fear-based mind and surrender to the feeling now and how this awesome universe is always supporting us. That spiritual being, who you really are, already knows that everything is happening for you and not to you. This trusting heart fills every fear-clinching crevice inside us, and we can truly appreciate the predicaments, problems, and challenging situations we're facing right now. How do you stop how do you stop overthinking? Many of us overthink. And this is from Sri Govindu. Problems are smaller than they seem. Worrying doesn't change outcomes. Don't be afraid to fail. accept the uncertainty of the future. Physical activity brings body-mind connection. Do your spiritual practices daily. Relax. Everything will change with time. The next secret to finding freedom from the negative mind comes with checking in with yourself to see how often you're following your ego or living from faith and trust. What percentage is your heart open to giving and receiving love, or closed at this moment? Is your heart willing to let in 100% trust, love, connection, and freedom, or does it need another year of being right about how scary love is and how lonely and disconnected you actually feel? Ask yourself, where you're protecting your heart, and if you're still feeling like a lost puppy somewhere inside, following the desiring mind wherever it leads you to go. Whenever we remember this feeling of being in love with ourselves and appreciating our lives as they currently are, we immediately are free from the ego, which is always enslaving us to feel we must, need, want, and always have something to be happy. Here's a powerful technique that will help with softening the fear-based conditioning around our hearts. Lay down in the place you feel the most safe, secure in the world, probably your bed. Start letting go of every ounce of tension in your body. Keep relaxing every bone, tendon, muscle until your body feels more than 50% relaxed. Then, ask your mind directly, what do you need to know, feel, or experience so you can fully let go and trust in this life 100% of the time? This is what you're asking your mind. If you don't get an answer, keep relaxing deeper. This relaxation enables us to experience mastery of our existence, where we can surrender to this life and enjoy everything even more. An Osho quote, "Your mind has nothing to do with your intelligence. Intelligence is the quality of your awareness. The more aware you are, the more intelligent you'll become." Through a deep, focused relaxation of our physical body, we will naturally relax on the psychological level as well. It may take weeks of practice. Yet, you continue with this same inquiry process, asking every negative thought you encounter what it needs to trust in this life 100% of the time. You'll soon discover the highest levels of joy, love, and truth naturally flowing into your awareness. It is the ridiculous simplicity of this relaxation practice that makes it so powerful and profound. It feels so good and effortless to let go of tension and just surrender to gravity. The deeper we can relax, the more trust we will feel. With some practice, this relaxation trust technique can become something you can do and see instant results anytime, anywhere. Integrate it into your life as much as possible, and you'll discover you're light years away from those old negative thoughts that have been plaguing your mind. You will find that you will have much more love and appreciation naturally the moment you welcome this deeper, relaxed foundation in your body. Relaxation is the key that opens the heart, increases consciousness, expands our awareness exponentially. Perhaps you may think it's too simple, stupid, or impossible to fully relax your body. Yet every day is another possible opportunity to relax and trust life deeper. I guarantee that if you do this one technique every day, you will see massive results in a few weeks. So keep on practicing, and practicing. The highest form of ignorance is when you reject something you don't know anything about. Dire. The mind cannot be fully trusted until it knows that the heart is its real master. So start with bringing awareness to whatever part of your mind is still trying to fix, improve, or heal you. Release all beliefs that say there's something wrong with you. Accepting yourself, your faults, exactly the way you are. Stop trying to think more positively. Think more positively. Manage your life perfectly. Or figure the grand mystery out. Let go of your mind games. Start riding the wild, free horse of spiritual liberation. By training your body to deeply relax beneath the mind, all of us will naturally free ourselves from the old plaguing thoughts and obsessive thinking about the past and future. We choose to relax deeper and deeper and deeper inside ourselves until we are fully 100% here now. Now, this may initially feel like we're attempting to climb the peak of Mount Everest. Yet, it is possible to do so. Over 5,000 ordinary people have successfully made it to the summit of Everest. Yet they also have spent months training their bodies, minds, for this wild quest, since it's 29,000 feet above sea level. So, when you want to reach the highest peak in consciousness available to humankind, train your inner world to relax, trust, and surrender your ego mind. Follow your heart instead of your thoughts. Make your connection with the silent source of God more important than achieving anything in this world. Focus on doing whatever work brings you deep joy and real inner peace at the end of your day, and continue in that direction until you arrive. Rumi, quote, "When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. Inner peace begins when we merge with our heart and place the demanding, desiring mind perpetually on the back burner. In the heart, we will find that life's just naturally easier. Patient, always welcoming, open heart can relish your daily challenges, seeing them as opportunities in disguise. It will make all your choices for you in this world, helping you to feel more liberated, peaceful, appreciative, and free. Or because there would be, hey guys, I was cut off. I don't know. I don't know when I was cut off. I haven't got any text yet saying that I cut off at a certain time, but the call is still recording, so it's a shot in the dark. What I will do is I will repeat the ending here. We'll start with a Rumi quote: "When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, and a joy." Inner peace begins when we merge with our heart and place the demanding, desiring mind perpetually on the back burner. In the heart, we will find that life's just naturally easier. The patient, always welcoming, open heart can relish your daily challenges, seeing them as opportunities in disguise. It will make all of our choices for us in the world, helping us to feel more liberated, peaceful, appreciative, and free. If having 100% total control of your mind, your thoughts, was the secret power to this life's success and happiness, then we would be ridiculously bored. Life would be void of all surprise and mystery. If we could control every next thought we'd think, we'd soon find out that we didn't care to have this power anymore, because there would be no element of surprise in our lives ever. We would ask for something and it would be instantly given. And after our life was 100% perfect, we'd become utterly bored. The more we tried to lighten our grip on life, on this life, and stopped attempting to control our mind destiny, the more liberated we will become. That's why our future is called our destiny, because our ego has zero control over every little detail that happens. Life is a huge let-go experiment. It is the greatest mystery to be lived, and not some technical, heady problem to be solved. So my final liberating secret for you today is this: the most positive, empowering, healing mindset will find its way into us when we become the greatest unknown mystery of life by abiding in the space between our thoughts. Get super curious about what it feels like to have an empty, quiet mind. By simply practicing relaxing in the silent space that is in between every single thought, we will quickly fall into a deeper silence and reverence for this life. In that tiny space of silence, it's always in between our negative thoughts, we will find the perfect awareness is already there to feel all the freedom we will ever need. Do not surrender your loneliness so quickly. Let it cut deep. Let it ferment and season you. As few humans and even divine ingredients can. Something missing in my heart tonight has made my eyes so soft, my voice so tender, my need for God absolutely clear. Puppets. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Remember this. We are all powerful. We can easily manifest all our heart's desires. Whatever we continuously place our attention and intention upon is what we manifest in our lives. We are always manifesting something, right? The question is, are we manifesting what we want or what we don't want? Imagine you are infinitely loved, universally abundant, and radically free. Infinite possibilities await us all. On your mark, get set, go. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. And we will return here Monday, January 22, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you.